Um, Hello to you all. Um, this is me just in my room. It's my blue light in the background. I just finished getting ready for bed, showered, moisturized my face, brushed my teeth, all that good stuff. Um, but, and I just realized, my air purifier you guys might hear it in the background of this. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt, the message fully, but I have to say this. I have to get it out. I have to get it off my chest because it's literally so frustrating. And I'm a holistic health practitioner, right? That's my background. My certifications are in personal training and life coaching and emotional intelligence. And I have a background of shamanism on both sides of my family. So I know a lot about health and the roots of illness or sickness or decay or disease, things like that, right? And I'm giving all this background because I just went to sign up for open enrollment for the state that I'm in's medical coverage. And, I went through all the questions, everything at the clinic with the, healthcare provider from they work for the state's like public health office or public health department, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it's like I'm getting almost triggered. Like I had to stop them and like correct them on one of the things because they're like, oh, well, actually, if you are from Dominican Republic on your mom's side, then you would check Hispanic, Latin American. And I'm like, well, why would I do that if like that ancestry doesn't, it's not Latin America, first of all. Like I had to check them on geography because I did this, and then the second box on like Caucasian. Anyway, so I was like, okay, Dominican Republic is Caribbean, right? Like it's islands in the Caribbean, and they're not in Latin America, right? Um, so why would that be Hispanic or Latin American? Because the roots are Caribbean or African, specifically North and West African roots. That's where the Caribbean, um, some people were taken there from Spain and French colonizers and the slave trade throughout I understand that. Totally understand that. But majority of the people come from either Dominican Republic, right? Haiti and Dominican Republic were once an island. Like like the island of Hispaniola. That's what it used to be. And then before that, it was just indigenous land, right? The Arawak of the Antilles, right? So it's either African or indigenous roots. So I'm like, I don't consider myself Hispanic. I don't even speak Spanish. And they're like, well, technically this is if you're from Dominican Republic or like Puerto Rico or, and then they started listing places. I'm like, well, that's not geographically correct. But if the state or the health department wants to check this off because they give certain funding to these communities and these groups, then yes, sure, I'll check that box so I don't miss out on the specific funding and like resources available to this demographic. But I hate that also. Like, why is it because I'm a certain race or a specific background I get help versus some people who aren't of this specific race or background get help? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm talking about like the second box, the Caucasian. And it's like there's not a box for white or European or like Italian or like that type of ancestry. There's no box for that because all it says is Caucasian instead of white or European, right? And I'm like giving them a lesson on this too because I'm like the Caucasus mountains are in Asia. So the people from the Caucasus Mountains have literally said, like, hey, we're different than white people, like, we're Asian. Like, we have different genetics, different facial structures. You look up a person who is not Caucasian, but from the Caucasus Mountains. Like, literally look that up right now. You might be surprised, because a lot of misinformation and colonization of history has literally made people mentally regress. And that's what's the scariest thing to me, is not people not understanding plants and herbs are medicinal. Like, okay, I understand that. Not everybody has an indigenous background. Totally understand that, right? And the thing about grounding, helping people heal, helping people regulate their nervous system, helping people's hormone levels, stress levels, all of these things, helping that go away just from consistent grounding every single day. Like, I understand. Some people might not understand that, right? They you know, were just taught to believe whatever the church, whatever the government, whatever the military told them to, and they didn't teach their kid anything about holistic health or about indigenous practices or about connecting with nature and not with technology. I totally get that. Totally get that. But my thing is, when a system, right, with an infrastructure behind that system, right, and with funding and communities behind that infrastructure are misguided and misinforming people, then I have an issue with it. Because that's where my issues start, right? My personal experience within the medical healthcare system was, I used to be addicted to opioid prescriptions, right? I fractured my elbow. Bam! What did they put me on? I think it was like 2,500 milligram Tylenol. It was like the strongest one that they had in their pharmacy, and Tramadol. Tramadol is an opioid. Yeah, they gave me that for a fractured elbow, and I said, well, my pain tolerance, not my pain tolerance, my pain level right now, it never went past an 8 out of 10, first of all. So, and second of all, after I got the cast, it was like a 4 out of 10. So it was literally because I had gone, like, I didn't go straight to the emergency room when I felt that pain. Long story. Anyway, like, I went at the end of the day. My roommate took me. They drove me there. They waited at the hospital and all that. But I didn't get an actual cast. Like, I got a sling at the end of the day and like some little like cotton wrapping to go around my arm. But I didn't get a cast until like a week later or 2 weeks. I don't even recall. But it was some time, and that's why I was in pain. I didn't need Tramadol. I didn't need this extra strength Tylenol. I didn't need any of those things. I just needed to be properly taken care of, right? And just like I recently got over having the flu because I moved onto campus. I'm living in a dorm room, right? There's my little desk and whatnot. But I got sick, and I haven't gotten sick like this in 2 years. I really thought long and hard about it because I was sick for like more than a week, just a little more than a week, having this flu, but I never went to the doctor. And I was like, I'm just gonna wait it out and mask and, you know, take my electrolytes, drink my tea, and just rest. I don't want to push myself too hard. And I asked, you know, 2 of my professors for an extension, and they're like, yes, you know, take care of yourself, do what you have to do. Super grateful, right? But I was talking to someone about it in class, and because they were like, are you okay? What's wrong? And they're like, oh, did you take antibiotics for it? I'm like, no. I was just like, no. But I'm like, ew, antibiotics, no. And then someone else who's like a resource facilitator, coordinator, whatever, I'm not trying to disrespect their title, but it's something to that degree. But they're amazing. They've helped me out with a lot of questions, a lot of issues I've had. like response very respectful, very professional, but they are a pharmacist in their time that they're not working on campus, and they work for a volunteer clinic. So these like doctors, pharmacists, physicians, they volunteer their time to help the community who's not able to get on insurance or is not, I guess, wasn't approved, right? Because everybody should be able to get on insurance, right? But yeah, that's the insurance healthcare system, right? That's another issue that I hate. Like, why deny anyone coverage, right? But anyway, they're like, I was telling them how I was sick and had the flu, and they're like, oh, have you heard of this? And you know, it's an app where you can get screening, medical screening for it, and then if the doctor prescribes you something, it could you know, be as little as $4 copay, but I could help you get it for free. And I'm not trying to speak ethics here. Like, I don't know what they would have been able to do to help me get it for free. Like, I'm sure they would know the insurance loopholes and like the medical, you know, hospitals or clinic or whatever procedures. I'm not saying that they were gonna give me something just sneaking out of the pharmacy to give me. I'm not saying it like that, right? But I am saying that they're like, if you need antibiotics or prescriptions, I can help you not have to pay for it, like not have to pay the copay for it. And I was like, oh, no, that's perfectly fine. I just need to rest, you know. And I did take those, you know, that weekend to rest and not do as much as I was doing for, you know, that Monday through Thursday of classes. So, yeah, I don't think the solution is pills and prescriptions to things. I am going to say that. I am going to say that, especially as a holistic health practitioner today, a lot of my issues behaviorally, socially, even medically have gone away because I have rested more, because I've set boundaries, because I've consistently grounded outside in nature, by lakes, by streams, you know, again, walking barefoot on grass, putting palms down on grass, touching dirt, interacting with plants, sun gazing, right? Doing these things, hiking, biking, walking, any time of the day. Like, it's about connecting with your natural self, not your thoughts, not other people's projections, not what you have to do, not your job, not worrying about what diet to follow or what clothes you're gonna wear or anything like that, right? No drama about finances or relationships or beliefs, none of that. Just going outside naturally, interacting with nature, the elements, the, you know, the bugs, the birds, the animals, right? The whatever's out there, but just genuinely observing and getting out of your own head, right? Destimulating yourself. There's so many opinions, so much misinformation, so many things out there that you really don't want to just take a hold of. You really want to do your own research behind these things. Even the medical industry, right? Even the media. We're seeing how much stuff is fake, is propaganda, is just to line millionaires and billionaires' pockets, right? There's a lot of medical frauds, a lot of schemes related to the COVID-19 stuff that's happening and, you know, being researched. A lot of money laundering, a lot of scams in this country. I don't even have to mention any specific names, right? You can literally see a headline almost every single day. If you're paying attention to every news outlet, I'm sure you're gonna see one every day, right? I'm not. I just sometimes see it when I'm checking the weather. There's like, you know, like a bunch of articles that populate and it's like, oh, you know, trending topics or whatever. Anyway, I'm saying all this to say the way that the US healthcare infrastructure and healthcare system is currently set up is inhumane. Straight up, it's inhumane. And it's incorrect information about ethnicity, about not nationality, because if you're here, you're supposed to be having a United States citizen nationality, patriot, pride, all that stuff. I get it. But ethnically and medically, there is so much misinformation that they will biologically, biomechanically mess you up if you follow it. Genuinely. My opioid addiction led to kidney failure and liver issues later on. And if you're on prescriptions and very strong opioids and things like I was taking for a prolonged time, you are going to have kidney and liver issues. You're probably going to be on dialysis when you're older. Hooked up to so many machines. Because your blood can't be processed properly. Yeah. And then you lose mobility. It's either that or, because that's a really big issue obviously in this country, right? People losing functionality and senses as they get older. And why is that? Why is that? You don't see that within the community of people who do yoga. You don't see that within the community of people who regularly go to the gym and work out and lift weights. They don't get osteoporosis when they're older. All right? Just like the people who are mindful and meditate and have awareness of themselves and the situations that they're in, they're not going to be addicted to substances. They're not going to be crash outs. They're not going to be people who have dementia when they're older, right? Because they're using their brain, more of their brain, number one, but they're constantly, consistently using their brain. They have neural pathways that light up. They have neuroplasticity that they have created just from being mindful and grateful. Instead of focusing on what they think is wrong with them, pardon me, confirmation though, and what issues they might get in the future. Because that's all the medical system and the healthcare system does. They want you to come for screenings and checkups and go to all these different doctors. Wasting your time, wasting your money, not even telling you the right proper information. Biomechanically changing you. You don't create neuroplasticity when you're stuck in anxiety and fear. You get more anxious. You get more afraid. So I need to listen to what the doctor's telling me right away. I need to do what the doctor's telling me for this treatment. I need to go here. I need to do this. I need to do this. And then your cortisol levels are through the roof. And then you have high blood pressure. And for some people whose genetics are, if their family has a history of heart attacks, strokes, heart palpitations, they could get all the way into that level of thinking and, constantly anxious, constantly afraid of what's going on with themselves, high blood pressure, right? You could get a stroke easily. You could have a heart attack over worrying about your health. Yes, it is possible. So, for who's watching this, right? Because I'm not specifying this message to any specific person, age group, background, religion, race, any of those things that society likes to try to divide us with. I want this message to be for everyone, genuinely, sincerely, right? Because I have done the research. I've done the trial and error on myself, me. I didn't go to rehab to get out of opioid addiction. I didn't go to rehab or substance abuse, drug and alcohol counseling to get off of THC. Me, I did that. Me and my spirit team. Me and the Most High. Me and the universe. But I'm a reflection of the Most High. So I'm saying me. I'm not giving myself all the credit. Sure. But on paper, I did that. I overcame that struggle. So I want to, everything I just said, right, to you, right? But also understand that you can go into the medical healthcare system and come in with one problem, leave with 10. Right? That's why I'm saying this. Don't let them label you one way. Don't let them prescribe you anything. Don't let them sell you a quick solution and a quick fix when it's something much deeper that you have to get to the root of. And especially if you're someone who's feeling like, my family never addressed this, they never got tested for this, they never cared. Why am I the only one who cares about this? Why am I the only one who's trying to make a difference in my health journey? Why am I the only one feeling this way? Why am I the only one who's going through this? I can assure you, please take it from me, that this specific time, this specific experience you're having is for a purpose, right? And I do not believe that the medical healthcare industry and infrastructure, the way that it is going to stand for 10 more years. I don't believe it. I don't believe it's going to stand another decade. I do not believe it. Which is also another reason why I'm making this message, because half of the problems, I can guarantee at least half. I feel like it's more than half. But me, with my expertise and my medical professional opinion, but also my experience, half of the problems that we have today as a society can be fixed with changing your diet, changing your intake. And I mean intake, not just what you intake with your mouth, but what you intake with your eyes and your ears, okay? And that is the holistic approach. The mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, and the financial. All those things together. That is the holistic health, holistic professional perspective on the medical industry as it is today. I'm sure I'll have more opinions and more connections and things to say after I'm going through this state's medical screenings and checkups and all this stuff. But I haven't been to a doctor or a dentist in, let me see. Because it's March, so I think a year and 6 months now, a year and a half. And I haven't gone to the dentist since getting my smiley piercing, because I'm like, I'm not taking this out. So I've had this, I got it pierced last January, I believe, at the end of January or beginning of February. So it's been a full year of me not going to the dentist either. I want to mention that. So, like I said, like, this is my perspective in just taking care of myself and trying new things, trying different diets, trying different, things instead of, like I said, instead of opioids and THC and CBD products, I've been drinking mushroom and adaptogen and herbal drinks, seltzers. I have been having ones that have CBD and CBG in it, those type of seltzers, but they also have like adaptogens and like ashwagandha. I've been trying that as well. Obviously, I mentioned drinking more tea. I've posted a few of the smoothie recipes that I've been doing. I posted a lot of YouTube shorts about the cooking and the diet, the dietary things that I'm trying, and that have been working. Not just trying, but have been working. A bunch of nutritional advice on fruits and their powerful cleansing properties, antioxidant properties, helping fight sickness and disease, right? So I feel like I'm doing my part, but I would also, like on the educational side, but I would also like to just speak personally about my perspective and my opinions from what I've gone through, because a lot of people don't understand, like, I have a lot of passion. I don't have a lot of anger. I have a lot of passion behind the words that I say. And a lot of times I have learned through doing the wrong thing, having to pivot to doing the right thing. So I'm someone who very, very, very much learns from experience, or learns the hard way, on what works and what doesn't work, right? So that is me. That is my perspective. That is the perspective I will carry with me for the rest of my life. I do not think that the healthcare system is designed for people to thrive and live their fullest life. I think it is something that limits humanity as a whole and tries to give band-aids or quick fixes. And a lot of the time, probably every time, I'm willing to bet, but every single time it leads to more issues. Again, you go in there with one issue, you come out with 10 things. So I would say, again, stay grounded, know yourself, know thyself is a lesson and a phrase, a comedic phrase, obviously, but it stands the test of time for a reason, right? Know thyself, know the difference between you and someone else's energy, know the difference between what your body is saying and telling you and communicating versus what someone is trying to influence you to believe, right? We all have the ability to bless or curse our lives, right? It is within the power of the tongue. And we are creators of our lives. We are the solution to whatever issue we are having in our lives. But when we don't have the belief, when we don't have that foundation of trusting ourselves, and we outsource it to someone else to tell us, right? See what I'm saying? Are you following? Like, that's when the bigger issues come into play. Take control of your life. And please, please listen to what your body is telling you. That's about anything. If it's about a person, a place, and a perspective, a mindset, listen to what your body is telling you. Please do not let someone else try to influence your intuition and what your spirit is telling you. Peace to everyone who has watched this.